Guys, it's Valentine's Day, and we want to get to learn and know more about one of our awesome CFE couples, Rachel Jones and Nick Whelan. In this episode of the podcast, we're going to revisit one of our old concepts. We call it CrossFitter Games. Stick around.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we meet and learn from our CFE coaches, meet and learn about our CFE CrossFitters, occasionally meet and learn about Glen Ed businesses and the leaders behind them. I'm your co-host, Coach G. Today on the podcast, we revisit an old concept for Valentine's Day to get to know some of our CrossFitters better. I am super excited to welcome the stars of the show today, Rachel Jones and Nick Whelan, to CrossFitter Games. Rachel and Nick, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
We are really excited. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the podcast, we've got some fun questions for Rachel and Nick, two of our CrossFitters here at CrossFit Edwardsville. We have some easy opening questions, some relationship firsts questions, some CrossFit trivia questions. We'll find out whether Rachel or Nick knows CrossFit better. And then finish off maybe with some fun, just for fun, would you rather questions. Rachel and Nick, are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
So I'll throw this question to Rachel first. Rachel, how did you guys meet? Tell us the story of Rachel and Nick meeting.
Okay. Well, we met back in 2017. I was going to a place in Collinsville called Wild Country, which was like a line dancing bar, but you could go if you were like 18 or older. So I would go and like get some exercise through dancing and just kind of hanging out with some of my friends. And I was there one day and I noticed there was someone that I didn't recognize who was a god-awful dancer. Probably the worst. It felt bad because I would always try to help people try to learn the steps because they weren't the easiest to learn. And so you see someone struggling and you're like, well, I'm going to help them. And it just so happened to be that Nick can't dance. So I was helping Nick learn to dance. And so
I was really hoping that the person that you were describing in this story wasn't Nick, for Nick's sake.
It was Nick.
Yeah.
He's not a dancer.
You would know that if you've seen me do the agility ladder. We did that last week.
Yeah, Nick's coordination in the feet isn't the best. So yeah, met at Wild Country trying to teach Nick how to dance.
That's so fun. I love it. So you guys have been together since 2017. Is that right?
6 years in June. Yeah.
Yep.
So Nick, how long have you guys been CrossFitting together?
I think this is our second time doing the open.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, about 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years. Yeah.
2 years in. Okay. So Rachel, favorite CrossFit exercise? Go.
Oh gosh, I like lunges, which isn't really like a CrossFit specific exercise, but I'm a big fan of lunges.
Amen to that. I don't know have you heard this podcast before? Like, that's literally what I say. It's my favorite exercise. Lunges and all variations of it. I love it. I love how they make my legs feel. I love how they work. It's so practical and it translates to everyday life. Awesome. What about you, Nick? Nick, favorite CrossFit exercise? Go.
Anything pressing. There's not a lot that I'm super like at the top at, but when it comes to pressing, like bench press or push press, usually I can get up in the top 5 on the leaderboard. So that's my favorite movement is probably push press or bench press.
I can attest to the truth of this. Like I've lifted with you, Nick, and you are, dude, like you can lift a house. It's crazy impressive to see.
It's annoying.
It's like he's so good at it. It's annoying. I love it. Okay, so we want to kind of like transition to like a game show format for you guys here. Okay. So this is our relationship firsts section of this. Do you guys both have a pen and paper with you where you can kind of quickly jot down your answer to the question as we go?
Yep.
You guys got it? All right, no peeking, no cheating. We want to see if you guys come to the same answer to these questions.
Oh, gosh.
So the first question I have for both of you guys, write down the answer when you get it. Where did you go and what did you do on your first date? To our audience at home again, where did you go? What did you do on your first date? Rachel, do you
Still
have an
ready.
answer for us?
Yes, I do. I said
Rachel, what say you?
we went to the movies to see Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Can we confirm, Nick, this is the correct answer?
yeah, I just put movie Wonder Woman. Yep.
Awesome. What'd you guys think?
I didn't know. Oh, of what Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't clarify that yet. What'd you think about her? Like, how was she?
It was great.
Was it a good time?
Yep.
I'm not a big movie person, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't remember if it was the movie or the Cardinals game exactly, because we went to a Cardinals game like really soon after we started dating too.
yeah.
Gotcha. Just to be sure, the correct answer is Wonder Woman, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right, guys. Next question. Write it down if you know the answer. Where was your first kiss? Where were you? Your first kiss. Jot down your answer. No peeking, no cheating. You can't look at your neighbor's written answer. All right, Nick, we send this one to you first. How do you answer?
I think it was after we saw the movie,
Where?
probably at your house.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
my parents' house.
Yeah.
Correct answer.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. It'd be like really weird if you guys did not have the same answer.
Yeah.
Question.
We're really having to harken back.
All right, guys, get ready for the next question. Who initiated the first time you held hands? So you're either going to write Rachel or you're going to write Nick when you write the answer to this one. Who made that move the first time you held hands? Rachel, what do you say?
I put Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you say?
I'm saying me. I'm just assuming it was me because Rachel's not really a hand-holding, like PDA type person. So, yeah, I would say it was probably me.
All right, got it. Now we're gonna throw you guys a curveball here in a different topic entirely. Think back to your early days. What was your first major argument about? Or you're like, if there was a fight, an argument, what was that first major argument about? Go ahead and jot it down right now. Just like 1 to 2 words, the general gist of what the big argument was about. All right, Nick, what do you say?
I think it was over wrapping paper. I was trying to help her wrap a present, and she got super offended that I was trying to help her.
Nick, what are you the paper wrapping master, like the gift wrapping maestro?
He thought he was.
Well, it looked like a 5-year-old was wrapping, and I was like, here, I was trying to show her how
to properly wrap
whatever it was, and
yeah,
it didn't go as well as I thought it would.
I'm not the best at wrapping gifts, that's for sure, but I've learned, grown.
Rachel, what did you say? What was your answer? Same or
gift wrapping? Yeah.
Gift wrapping.
Guaranteed.
Well, this actually like neatly segues into our next question. So, I'll have you guys both write the answer to this question. Okay. What was the first gift Nick ever gave to Rachel? Okay. First gift Nick ever gave to Rachel. Go ahead and write it down if you know it. If you don't know it, you can put I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Nick, what'd you say?
So when we first started dating, she told me she was really into like personalized items. So I went on Etsy and found this like little box that had hearts on it. And I think it might have had her initials or something on it where you lit a candle in it and it would like kind of put the shadow on the wall. And
that sounds like a really good gift. I'm not the expert on all of this, but that sounds really like an amazing gift and very thoughtful.
Yeah, she didn't like it.
I don't even know where.
Why would you ever buy me that? It has hearts on it, and I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's ever been used.
I said it was a jacket. He bought me a jacket, like a monogram jacket, a long time ago. I couldn't remember, honestly. It was the earliest thing I remember getting. It's this jacket.
Jacket, yeah.
You think was she right? Nick, think
I
that's
think
what it
so.
was?
I think it was the jacket. I just clearly remember the box because that
Traumatic.
still comes up every once in a while. I was like,
Nick is like, I'm still recovering from the scars of this.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is.
Came from.
All right, let's like do the flip side of the coin then. The first gift that Rachel ever gave to Nick. If you know it, write it down, guys. The first gift that Rachel ever gave to Nick. Rachel, what do you say?
It was a piece of wood that someone had scanned our picture on the front of, and then I put some mushy quote on the back.
Mm-hmm.
It spawned this whole wooden gift thing.
It spawned the box because she got it on Etsy, and I was like, ooh, I should get her something on Etsy too.
Also made of wood.
It started the first Whelan family tradition of woodcraft gifts.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys need to make friends with a carpenter or something so you guys can.
Woodworker.
A woodworker, right? Exactly. Nick, what'd you say? First gift that she ever gave to you.
Yeah, I said wood picture.
Yeah.
So it was.
Do you guys still have that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have it.
You're like, this was the good one. This was the good gift that we.
Yeah, it was from one of our first dates at like a Cardinals game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of the first pictures. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Next question. What's your song as a couple? Like, if there's a song that you guys have, like your song.
Do we even have a song?
To put it another way, like when you guys get married, like what's the wedding song? Maybe I shouldn't complicate. Those might be two different things. I know that for me and my lady, our song was our wedding song, but let's just keep it simple. What's your song for Rachel and Nick? If you know it, write it down. Hopefully you guys know the song and the artist. Hopefully. All right, Nick, you got it?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nick, what'd you say?
I'm gonna say "Brass Monkeys" by the Beastie Boys.
Rachel is cracking up over here.
That is a completely. I wrote "Hurricane" by Luke Combs because that's the first dance we had. Those are two very different vibes.
I thought you were.
We have the Beastie Boys and Luke Combs in the same breath.
Yeah,
those are hardcore different vibes, you guys.
Yeah, we don't have a.
We don't really have a song.
We don't really have a set song. Maybe after our wedding, when we have our first dance, we will. But
yeah,
that's still being debated at this moment. What we're gonna pick on that. So
yeah,
probably gonna be
probably just we just stoked the thought process for the wedding playlist.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, now Brass Monkeys has to be involved.
Yep.
All right. So Rachel and Nick, into our second game now, CrossFit Trivia in a game show format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show a question to you guys on the screen so you guys can both see it.
Okay.
And I'll also read it for the audience.
Okay.
And you guys will choose from a multiple choice menu of A, B, C, and D, which answer you think is the correct answer to the question. And it's important that as you write this down that your neighbor cannot see the answer that you write to this question. So, CrossFit Trivia, question number 1. What is CrossFit? A core strength and conditioning program. B, constantly varied functional movement done at high intensity. C, an international fitness program for forging elite fitness. Or D, all of the above. And just to be sure, can Rachel and Nick both see this okay on your screen? Yes. Okay, great. All right. Answer A through D. All right. Nick, what'd you put?
I put D.
Rachel, what'd you put?
D.
D. The correct answer is D. It is all of the above. It's actually CrossFit is defined as constantly varied functional movement done at high intensity, but it is also a core strength and conditioning program and a program for forging elite fitness. Nick and Rachel, go ahead, but both of you guys give yourself one tally for a correct answer. The current score is 1-1, and it is tied. It is tied so far. Going into our second question. What is a chipper? This is CrossFit speak. Which of the following is the correct answer? A, A mobility movement designed to increase your ankle flexibility? Is it B, a hero WOD, hero workout of the day? C, a sledgehammer movement where you hit a tire repeatedly with a sledgehammer? Or D, a WOD with many types of movements strung together and done only once, i.e. it's not multiple rounds, it's do an exercise once and then move on. Go ahead and write down your answer now. What is a chipper? Rachel, do you have your answer?
Do.
Nick, do you have your answer?
Yes.
Rachel, what do you say?
The chipper is a bunch of stuff all at once. D.
D. Yes, correct answer. Nick?
D.
D. Also correct answer, guys. Give yourselves one more tally. If my math is correct here, let me see, carry the two. You're each tied at two apiece. All right. So far, we got a good game here. Maybe it gets a little more interesting now. We're now into question number 3. CrossFit trivia question 3. Who is the founder of CrossFit? Is it A, Dave Castro, B, Bill Henniger, C, Greg Glassman, or D, Rabdo the Clown? Go ahead and write your answer now. Only one of these is the correct answer, guys.
This is where it goes off the rails.
I hope it's D.
This is where it goes off the rails.
That's what you call the power of suggestion. Nick is trying to throw Rachel off the trail right now. Yeah, surely it's Rabdo the Clown. Surely. All right, Nick, what do you say?
I put A.
You put A, Dave Castro. And Rachel, what did you put?
It's C.
It is C. The correct answer is Greg Glassman. Greg and his former wife, Lauren Glassman, are credited as being the founders of CrossFit. If you're wondering who are these other characters, Rabdo the Clown was the unofficial CrossFit mascot through many of the early years. If you actually Google Rabdo the Clown, you'll see photographs of Rabdo, which is a clown puking all over the floor. I think it was intended to kind of capture the intensity and the hardcore nature. It was intended to capture that hardcore early image of CrossFit, but CrossFit intelligently moved away from all of that mess. Bill Henniger is the founder of Rogue Fitness, the world's leading supplier of awesome fitness equipment. And Dave Castro, for many, many years, was the director of the CrossFit Games and the guy who wrote all the workouts that we do in the CrossFit Open and that we do at the that the Games athletes do at the CrossFit Games. Yeah. Now, recently, he's taken up a different role as an affiliate, liaison, affiliate representative. But awesome guy. Shout out to Dave if he ever watches this podcast. And had a chance to meet him. He's an amazing dude. Big fan of Dave Castro. Shout out. Okay. Next question. So, by the way, I believe Rachel is taking the lead. Rachel, I think you have 3 tallies, right?
Yeah.
All right. Slim margin. Rachel's in the lead. Now, this question pertains to the RX weights, which in CrossFit speak, that is the designation for the intermediate level of the workout. SC, scaled, is beginner level or newbie level. RX is intermediate. RX plus is advanced. So we're talking about RX stuff, right? Now, typically in an RX workout, if there's weightlifting, there'll be the women's weight and there'll be the men's weight. There's actually a percentage based on the men's weight. What weight percentage is the women's weight to make that translation? One of these answers is the correct answer. Is it A, 65%, B, 30%, C, 80%, or D, 110%? Write your answer now.
Feels like 110%. Shot in the dark.
All right. Have you guys made your guesses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nick, just say the percentage, not the letter. What percentage did you say?
I said 80%.
80%. Rachel, what did you say?
I said 65.
The correct answer is 65%. It's basically 2/3. So whatever the men's weight standard is for a workout, the women's weight is typically 2/3 of that. Do you guys want to hear the scientific basis for that? because there's actually a physiological reason. You guys want to learn some of the science behind CrossFit?
Science.
Sure.
I love science.
Yeah. We'll get very briefly sciencey and physiologically here. So men and women, when you compare their lean cross-sectional muscle tissue mass, the lean cross-sectional muscle tissue mass of a woman compared to a man, same age, the woman typically has 2/3 the lean cross-sectional muscle tissue mass. So the implication is that two otherwise equally sized people, men have that much more muscle mass naturally on their frame, and women have 2/3 that muscle mass, which is then why we give women 2/3 the weight to lift, because again, it's an equivalency of force production output. Now, there are obviously a lot of exceptions to this. We have women that can lift a lot more, that have more muscle. We have guys that don't have as much muscle and can't lift a house like Nick Whelan can when pressing. There are exceptions. And obviously, like, we will adjust the workout to a person's actual abilities, but it's the muscle tissue mass of a man versus a woman that is the physiological basis behind the RX for men and women. So there's a little bit of CrossFit background. Okay, next question. I think it's now 4-2. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
4-2. All right. Which of the following is a list of CrossFit Games champions? CrossFit Games champions. Only one of these lists has only CrossFit Games champions in it. A, Graham Holmberg, Rich Froning, Tia-Claire Toomey. B, Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, Annie Thor's daughter, Elizabeth Akinwale.
Some sick names.
C, Julie Fouché, Lindsay Valenzuela, Dan Bailey. Or D, Telena Fortunato, Kyle Kasperbauer, and Matt Frazier.
I know who Nick's going to pick because he only knows one of those people on that list.
Too.
Well, if you know that for sure one of these people is a CrossFit Games champion, that maybe that helps. All right. Have you guys got your answer?
Yep.
Yes.
Rachel, which one do you say? Which answer?
I went process of elimination. I know Tia Toomey and I know Rich Froning, so I went with A.
She went with A. Graham Holmberg, Rich Froning, Tia-Claire Toomey. Nick, what say you?
I also went with A.
Because you know Tia Toomey.
Tia Toomey.
You guys are both correct. You're both correct. A, Graham Holmberg was the CrossFit Games champion right before Rich Froning went on his spree of winning CrossFit Games. And actually, Graham Holmberg was the last man to beat Rich Froning in CrossFit Games competition. In that year, I forget what year it was. It might have been like 2013, 2014. Graham Holmberg and Rich Froning were basically tied, or Rich was winning very slightly going into the very last event of the CrossFit Games. And the very last event of the CrossFit Games included a rope climb, actually a few rope climbs. And Rich Froning learned in the worst way possible that he did not know how to climb a rope. So Graham Holmberg climbed the rope, and Graham Holmberg won the CrossFit Games. Rich Froning went back to CrossFit at CrossFit Mayhem, learned how to climb a rope, came back the next year, and he's never lost a workout because of rope climbs since. So that said, of this list, though, Annie Thor's daughter, for example, is a CrossFit Games champion, as so is Matt Frazier. So anyway, all right.
The coolest names I think I've ever heard.
Aren't they? They're like super cool names. Okay, next question. A CrossFit benchmark workout. This WOD or workout requires the athlete to complete 30 clean and jerks for time. What is that workout named? Is it Isabel, Grace, Linda, or Cindy? Isabel, Grace, Linda, or Cindy? Nick, do you have an answer?
Yes.
What does Nick say?
A.
He put A, Isabel. Rachel, what'd you say?
That's Grace.
That's Grace. Isabel is 30 snatches for time.
That's what got me.
The sister workout to this one. Yes. Rachel, Another point in the lead. This is quickly becoming one-sided, Nick.
I know.
Let the trash talk begin.
You're used to losing. Just kidding. I usually lose all the games.
They don't call me Captain Time Cap for nothing, okay?
No one calls you that.
I call myself.
All right, on to question number 7. And by the way, Rach, if you haven't, make a tally mark. I'm starting to lose track. Is it something like 5? What's the score now?
6 to what do you have? 3, 2.
I think I have 4.
4.
Okay, we'll go with that. So, guys, all of these companies have sponsored the CrossFit Games except for one. A, Reebok. B, Rogue Fitness. C, Concept 2 Rowing. D, Nike. Or E, Monster Energy Drinks. There's only one correct answer. One of these very famous brands has never been a sponsor of the CrossFit Games. Go ahead and write your answer now. I have a feeling Nick's looking very confident.
He does look confident, which scares me.
Nick looks very confident on this one, and Rachel looks like this is going to be a complete guess.
Yeah, it is.
I was between 2, but yeah.
All right, Rachel, what's your guess?
I said Nike.
She said Nike. And then Nick, what do you say?
I also put Nike.
You are both correct. Good job, guys. That is the correct answer.
I knew Monster.
Because Reebok, Rogue Fitness, Concept 2 Rowing, and Monster Energy Drinks have all been official sponsors of the CrossFit Games. By the way, the Monster Energy Drink sponsorship, super controversial.
Yeah.
Super controversial.
I was surprised when I saw it last year.
It justifies drinking more Monster.
Right? Uh-oh. I think Rachel just outed Nick. Is Nick a Monster Energy Drink drinker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frequently. Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah.
The hydro and the can ones.
Word. Okay. Ladies and gents, question number 8. We only have 2 more CrossFit trivia questions for you here. Hopefully you guys can be playing along at home as well. Let's test your CrossFit knowledge. So Lieutenant Michael Murphy, a famous fallen soldier and the inspiration for the hero Wad Murph, as well as books and charitable foundations. He was a CrossFitter, and he was a member of this elite military unit. Is it A, the Army Rangers, B, Marine Recon, C, the Navy SEALs, or D, the Air Force Pararescue? Lieutenant Michael Murphy was a part of which branch? Nick, what's your answer?
I went with A, the Rangers.
He went with A, Army Rangers. Rachel, what did you say?
I said the Navy.
The correct answer is C, the Navy SEALs.
Ooh, we were both wrong.
Lieutenant Murphy.
You said Navy? Oh. Oops.
Navy SEALs. He was a Navy SEAL. He's a Navy SEAL and an American hero. He literally stepped out into an open space and took gunfire. He was comms. His job was to communicate and make the call for help when his unit was surrounded. They were taking enemy fire. He walked out into the open knowing he was going to get shot because he could not make the call from where he was under with cover. So he walked out into the open knowing he would take gunfire so that he could successfully make the call for help to rescue all the other guys in his unit. He's a hero. That takes guts. I raise my glass to Lieutenant Michael Murphy. May he rest in peace and be remembered forever as a hero. All right, last question for you guys. All the following celebrities are also CrossFitters with the exception of one. A, Jessica Biel. B, Brad Pitt. C, Cameron Diaz. D, Ryan Reynolds. Or E, Jason Statham. Write your answer now. Which of these celebrities is not a CrossFitter? All the other ones are. Jessica Biel, Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz, Ryan Reynolds, and Jason Statham.
I didn't know any of them were.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
All right, Nick, I'll have you answer this one first. Which one do you guess is not a CrossFitter?
I put Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. And Rachel, what did you put?
I said Ryan Reynolds.
The correct answer is Ryan Reynolds.
Oh man.
In a landslide, Rachel Jones wins the CrossFit trivia.
He bangs too much on being funny. He doesn't seem like he does a lot.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Not you.
Yeah, I thought you were. I was like, oh.
So, yeah, Jessica Biel, Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz, Jason Statham, and a host of others, Rick Ross. There have been many famous CrossFitters. Actually, Diana Ross, the famous singer, also a CrossFitter. That's a fun fact as well. All righty, guys. Now, we're kind of getting a little long in the podcast. We're about a half hour in. I want to be respectful of your time. So let's do some just for fun, would you rather questions. And what I'll do is I'm going to put a few of them up here. And I'm going to let Rachel, our winner, choose the first question that she would like you guys to answer. So here are a few possibilities. And I'm going to read it to our audience while Rachel considers which question here. 3 would you rather questions. These are crazy, wild questions just to kind of learn how Rachel and Nick think. The first question, would you rather have a tail or a third arm? Second question, would you rather win an Olympic medal or the Nobel Peace Prize? And the third question, would you rather lose your keys or lose your cell phone? Rachel, which question would you like to answer?
Tail or third arm?
All right. Would Rachel rather have a tail or a third arm?
I would go with third arm. It seems more useful than a tail. We have 2 dogs and their tails don't do anything. They don't serve any purpose except they wag.
Yeah.
Third arm.
That's the dog signal of happiness, right?
Yeah.
Only or the dog signal of scared.
Yeah, true.
My question is, Rachel, like, where would you put the third arm? Like, where would it be?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Might help with
in
like
the backside,
gymnastics.
maybe like grab things behind me.
Ooh, you could use them for like handstand walks. That would be helpful.
Third
Right?
hand,
Have
tripod.
Like a tripod. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good point. I feel like in terms of CrossFit, it would make handstand walking probably a lot easier.
That's true. A lot of overhead things.
Yeah.
Handstand push-ups probably would be easier.
Yeah, yesterday's push press marathon would have been easier for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I had a third arm, I'd be as strong as Nick with shoulder to overhead movements. Nick, what did you say? How did you answer this question?
I also said third arm. I was trying to think
of
it in the terms of like gymnastics, what would help me the most. And I'm like, well, maybe a tail would help me, but I don't know.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know how.
I don't know either.
I don't see how. I hear
no maybe. I'm just thinking outside the box here. Like maybe having the tail would aid with balance, so that maybe it'd make handstand push-ups easier because you'd have it as a balance. I don't know. Granted, I've never had a tail before, so I don't really know.
True.
All right, Nick, we'll let you choose the final question. So here are 3 possibilities, 3 wild and crazy would you rathers. The first one, would you rather be homeless for a year or be in jail for a year? Second, would you rather have a head the size of a basketball or a head the size of a baseball? And third, would you rather have the ability to speak to animals or the ability to speak 10 foreign languages? The implication here is human languages. Nick, which question would you like to answer?
Let's go with the head size.
No.
All right, Nick. Would you rather have a head size of a basketball or the head the size of a baseball?
I think I would rather have a basketball head.
And why is that?
Because like I don't want to look like the muscly dude with like a tiny little head. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd say basketball head. I'd rather have a huge head.
Rachel, what do you say?
Listen, Nick already tells me that I have a basketball for a head, so I would probably go with basketball head. So I'm already living the life.
We've actually measured our head sizes before, comparing them.
I'm already living the life of a basketball head, apparently.
Already living that life, already on that vibe. Just think about like this. It's about roughly the size of a baseball. Imagine your head being that size.
Too small, yeah.
That would look crazy. That would look ridiculous. Well, guys, I'm going to say happy Valentine's Day to you both. I hope it's the best one ever. Thanks for joining us on the podcast here. Just 2 super short closing questions for you guys. Rachel, what are you most excited for in the future of your relationship with Nick? Go.
Well, our wedding's in October, so I'm going to go with the wedding. 6 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, what do you say?
I would also say the wedding is what I'm most excited for right now.
You better.
Yeah.
I'm excited for both of you guys. Like, I love being married, and I'm super excited for you guys. Like, it's like the biggest party of your lives, and you guys are the stars. You get to call all the shots. It's a good time. I'm excited for you guys. What are you most excited for in the future of your CrossFitting? Nick, I'll let you answer this one first.
I think I'm most excited for maybe like RXing more workouts, or maybe like doing my first competition if I ever participate in like Festivus.
Sure.
That's what I would say I'm most excited for.
Yeah, the team Festivus is coming up in April. You guys could consider being a team. Just a thought.
Rachel says I'm too slow to be on her team, so that's been ruled out.
But if you need somebody to do push-ups, shoulder press, push jerk, I mean,
True.
You really couldn't have a better teammate than Nick. Rachel, what do you say? What are you most excited for in the future of your CrossFitting?
I would just say seeing how far I can take it, like seeing how far the growth can kind of go and how much I can develop over the years and kind of compare to previous years and just see how far it goes, how far it comes.
I love that. Well, again, I want to say a great big thank you to Rachel and Nick for being the stars of our kind of sort of Valentine's Day game show today. Thanks to our audience out there for tuning in to join us for CrossFitter Games, 4th episode of the CrossFitter Games. And to everybody out there, we hope you guys have an amazing Valentine's Day, full of fun and adventure and great memories. And we will see you guys in the next episode.